Klaviyo one?
Yeah.
What is it?
The we are live, by the way. The in the settings, it
Mm-hmm.
it was set to only show on mobile,
Oh,
and so you have to specifically say you want it to show on both.
on the Klaviyo side.
Yeah,
Did you update it?
I did, but it's still not really uploading. So,
Oh.
from a fandom perspective, specifically say, I want you to know that
Okay.
T brought back they brought back Chomp's Treasure, which is my favorite.
That's delightful.
You ever miss it?
What?
You ever miss it?
Playing TFT?
Yeah.
Um, not really. I think I miss playing with you, but I don't miss like the game. Really? We had some fun times. We had some ecstatic moments. We had a lot of heartbreak,
A lot of heartbreak.
a lot of disappointing, frustrating, depressing moments. But I don't know.
I will
Game
say,
itself, like I get a lot of I'll be on TikTok scrolling and I'll get a lot of lives like people playing it, like live streaming it. And I've like tried to watch one. I just like don't. I don't care as much. I'm a lot more likely to watch one play like Call of Duty, which
mhm,
is which is funny.
it is really fun though. I'll say that.
But Chong's Treasure is fun. I would consider playing a round or two if you really, really wanted to. I've
I
separated myself far enough away from it that it
I will
doesn't
say
like a
that
regret.
playing on the iPad makes it so much more enjoyable.
Yeah. I like that you really embraced your inner iPad kid.
Dude, I
You
in the
say your
last probably
bad kid.
dude, I
You
in the
say
last get my little reverb. Um, I've really enjoyed it. And I don't enjoy things that much. I enjoy things, but I don't enjoy things like that much.
yeah,
And I have absolutely been just glued to the iPad.
I love it, man.
I think the real benefit of the MyPad is books. Reading books on the iPad is so enjoyable. It's
Really?
so enjoyable. If I don't know a word, I can highlight it. It tells me um what it means. Like the fact there's a backlight, so if it's a little dark in the room, I can still read it perfectly. The way that the Books app like tints your screen, it feels like it doesn't feel like you're looking at a screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty wonderful. I know that I'm true iPad kid in every form right now, but I've really been enjoying it.
Whatever gets you to read, you know?
And this is another thing because Dragon Breeze Gaming says I prefer holding my books. Of course, I love physical book. So I have double jointed thumbs, and over the years, I've gotten a little bit of inflammation in between the joints.
So you can't read.
So like when I hold a book for a long time, it like hurts my hands. Like my hand, like the way that I have to posture my hand, my little joint here hurts. And so
You hold a book like this when you read it?
yeah, like because I usually read like hardcover, and so like sitting there and holding a book open like this, it just like for whatever reason, if I do it for a long
One
time,
hand at the top.
hold one hand at the top.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never done that. But yeah, my thumbs get tired. I know it's a weird thing to complain about, but it does. And it doesn't get tired with the iPad. So
How are you guys supposed to hold a book? Can you guys weigh in on this? We're asking the chat today. How do you hold a book? which sounds like the name of a memoir.
How to hold a book.
Musings on life, love, and the pursuit of literacy. Okay.
I'm sorry. I was just allowing our new members into school.
School has been popping this week. How many members? I think we're up to like 700 and
777.
buy a lottery ticket.
Seriously.
That's pretty cool.
Free Journal Friday is posted. So, Nick, just so you know, last week we had some mishaps, the live stream. It would just turn off. It would just
Yeah,
turn off.
I heard it was a little contentious. Or turbulent is a better word.
Yeah.
So, okay, if we get kicked out, do I just join the Zoom again? I don't. Well, I guess we'll figure it out.
No, so we don't get kicked out of the Zoom. The Zoom's fine. Restream drops.
Okay. So it's a
Uh,
restream issue.
yeah. So yeah, so I've been having a philosophical debate internally with myself.
Wow. Okay.
And we have some people in here, and I see some friendly names from school in here. So I feel like it's a safe group to ask. But every time I post in school, it has a toggle for me to send you an email that I posted in school. And I've opted away from sending the email. But what is important enough to get the email notification about? Would Free Journal Friday constitute a good enough reason to get an email? Would Bragg O'Clock be a good enough reason to get an email? I don't want to send one every day because I feel like that's a little obnoxious. But I feel like there is an amount that is good, right? 0 is not good either, I think.
Yeah,
So,
definitely not every day. That's that's too much. Maybe once a week. This is because we already send a hefty amount of emails
we do.
as a company. So people are already getting Heroes Journal emails. So when you go, you join the school group, you're involved, you're getting notifications maybe. So it's like I feel like the most you should do is one a week. And it could be Free Journal Friday because it's like, hey, come join us. But it's also on the schedule.
Yeah, on the calendar. And it literally has a little thing on school that says we are live right now, Free Journal Friday.
We do Bragg O'Clock. We could do like a weekly quest check-in. You know, people weigh in every week. Like, yo, send me a few daily pages. Send me one that you colored. Give me a little synopsis, like maybe a chapter update. Chapters are 7 daily pages in the journal. So
Yeah.
what chapter are you in? What storyline are you using? Just give me a little insight. What are you working towards? So I'm just thinking out loud, but that'd be kind of fun. That's a cool way to kind of get participation.
Daffodil says once a week is good. Also, Amy, who we've known for years, 5 years now, I believe. We've known Amy.
Yeah.
Is also known as Dragon Breeze Gaming. So
Oh,
one and the same.
I was curious. Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Bandy Bunch says once a week is good too. Maybe what we'll do is we're not going to tell you what we're going to set it about this week, and then you'll just randomly get an email about it, and you can tell us next Friday if you liked it or not. It'll be our little secret. I don't know why I said it like that. I feel like I said something that like
Yeah, I didn't like that at all.
that was like the wrong context for that phrase.
Yeah, we'll work on the branding of this email.
Yeah.
But it's been a weird week. How's your week been? Catch me up.
It has been a weird week. I don't know if you feel this way, and maybe it's because we live in such a digital world, or maybe because we work from home, or maybe just because I am the way I am. But I feel like the type of like content that I bring in really shapes the week that I'm having. Like at least it shapes the vibe of the week that I'm having. Um, like I listened to this book on my runs this week about a guy who was in prison of war camps in World War II. And that's just not a very hospitable place in general. And so like you listen to that and you're just like a dark cloud, you know what I mean? But then I was also reading a book that was like very inspirational as far as like doing the work of something that you care about and your process, all the stuff. I love that. So I was like inspired, but I also had this like dark cloud over my head. But it was a story that like I felt like was necessary to hear. And it was all of these things, and I was just like kind of like in this cloud of all of these different ideas. But that being said, it was a pretty okay week.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever feel that way.
No, a little bit. It does seem to affect you a lot. I've noticed that. I think it's a good thing. I think like I've been around you long enough to see a version of Kyle when he isn't like reading anything or batting around new ideas or intaking new information. And I think that when you are doing that, it makes you better, makes your brain healthier. Um, I get a little bit of that. I've been reading Dungeon Crawler Carl. I'm on book 5.
Yeah.
I'm just deep. I'm deep into this series. And I'm not only am I not reading a physical book, I'm not reading it all. I'm purely listening to this. This is an audiobook adventure.
But they have pretty good, like they do the voices and stuff. Like it's a pretty engaging, yeah.
There's some sound effects in there. I like it, man. I'm so pro audiobook. I'm pro all of it. Like, but when it comes to fiction, like I just love walking, listening, letting my mind just like wander into this little imaginary world, get my steps in. It's great. I've been working through that story probably the past month, and I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah. How would you now so Nick and I a few months ago, per your what you just said about listening versus like physically reading. Um yes, it's called Dungeon Crawler Carl, correct?
Yeah, Dungeon Crawler Carl. It's as ridiculous as it sounds. It's the most fun I've had listening to a book in a long time. It's very silly. There's a guy from Seattle who wrote all these books, and he references Seattle a lot in them, and so it's kind of nice. As someone who grew up there, it's nerdy, it's very technical, and it's funny. It's just good. It's silly. Check it out.
But the reason I think of this is I have this book on my desk right now. But like a few months ago, Nick and I read How to Know a Person.
Yeah.
And I had one rule for all of us reading this book together, because one other friend read it too, is that you had to physically sit down and read a physical book. Because there's something about like taking yourself out of your normal routines and forcing yourself to like create a new thing that just like it's the beginning of a slump buster, right? So do you feel like do you feel like the audiobooks allow your brain to kind of explore new things in a way that allows you to kind of think outside of a slump, or do you feel like you have to create a new environment to really, because I've never used an audiobook to like slump bust. I've only ever used a physical book. But do you think the same thing is possible with an audiobook?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I sort of conditioned myself. Like I only listen to my audiobooks when I'm multitasking, but I'm only multitasking um around like positive things. So it's like I listen to my audiobook when I'm doing my laundry or I'm cleaning my place or um when I'm going on a walk or when I'm like meal prepping. And so it's like there's a bit of a link in my brain between like I'm taking care of myself and I'm also like engaging my imagination, which I like. I don't like lay in bed and listen to it. I don't really like sit around and listen to it. I'm usually just like I'm like, okay, I have to do the dishes. That sucks. But I'm like, but I get to listen to my audiobook. That's kind of nice. And so I just kind of like it's easier to like, I don't know, get in there. But I mean, I do not retain information anywhere near as well. compared to like reading a physical book. And reading a physical book is much harder because it requires more focus because you are getting more information out of it, you know? So I've been trying this thing where I listen to my fiction and I read my nonfiction. Like
Yeah.
it's okay.
Have you heard? I saw this on Twitter. The system called just in time versus just in case learning. Have you heard about this?
No. Also hi Terry.
Um, it's this idea that like you can only learn about something like a skill. You can only learn a skill through the active application of that skill. So you couldn't like read a book on copywriting and then just be a copywriter. You have to like start a business and realize that your business needs copywriting. So you read a book about copywriting and then you apply it, and then that's how you learn the skill. So in that theory, that logic, you can't like learning about a skill before you're going to apply it is a waste of time. Because you're never actually going to retain it. The idea is like how to write a good hook. You find the best book on writing hooks, and then you read one chapter and you apply that, and that's how you learn it, not by reading the book about hooks. Um, and I've been thinking about it, and I think it's a half truth. Um,
Yeah.
because like the amount of times that you run into something like because it's very like entrepreneurial, like I'm gonna learn as I go, like I'll figure that problem out when I get there, and it's like sometimes you don't even have the verbiage for the problem that is in front of you. You're like, all I know is this thing is scary, and sometimes you can read a book that gives you enough context to know where to find the solution to the problems in front of you, which you wouldn't get in that system. So what do you think about that? Because you like to learn on the fly. You like to have a problem in front of you and then learn everything about it and solve it.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
think
I guess it depends on what you're trying to learn. How like, how deep is that skill set go? If I had to design like a banner for our website, that means I have to learn like a lot of other skills to do that like well. Like I have to be able to crop an image correctly. I might have to know uh how to make it react correctly on like a web page, how to make it load on mobile versus desktop. That is like 20 other skills kind of all wrapped up in one, in which many people have built entire careers out of. And so that skill set goes really deep. But at the end of the day, all I need to know how to do is make a website banner.
yeah,
So it's like I could read about it or I could just like hop in and do it and it could suck for a little bit. Can the business or whatever you're trying to make happen, can it handle that inexperience? Like the cost of that inexperience, can the business handle that? If so, then it's probably worth learning good enough for now. If not, then it's like hire someone, I think, and then just have it be good, but don't learn anything. Because you can't be great at everything. That's the worst part. You know, you just can't be an expert at everything. So
so one of the reasons why I asked this question is to your point, Nick has been in the landing page world for the last few days. And I pulled up the landing page on an incognito browser, and with cookies cleared, the sign up form loads. So I put it in the chat. If you want to sign up for updates on our new journal and see a beautiful landing page designed by Nick, which he has learned that skill in the last 6 months.
elaborate. But it is live, and I think it works. We didn't even test to see if it works.
Yeah.
I finished it like a minute before we hopped on this live stream. But I think the most exciting thing about this link is you can see some concept art, some early scribbles from Ryan himself um, regarding the actual storyline, and I think it's pretty fun.
Cool.
So
I just signed up for it, and I confirm my subscription. And I did not get the auto email, so it's kind of working.
We're just live testing this on the live stream.
I know. It is a little bit redundant, but I want to make sure everyone gets what they're supposed to get. I keep accidentally saying things at like common phrases that are out of context. Like I almost just said, I hope just so everyone gets what's coming to them.
God, this is a threat. They don't know. They don't know what's gonna hit them.
James G with the quote of the day so far. People can knock him off they can knock him off his mantle, but you can't learn to drive by reading the car manual. He's he's an evangelist for just in time learning.
How you say it? Well, yeah, we're still working on this landing page, but concept art is there, and also a few GIFs of some of the daily pages. Actually, the first, second, and fourth chapter of this storyline. You can see them in GIF form. If you go to this page, and that's kind of fun. You can tell how much effort has already gone into these chapter pages. We've introduced and really utilized this new panel system in this storyline. It's a good homage to like manga. It feels more comic booky. We get like a lot more emotion out of these pages and out of the characters, and which basically just means we're able to tell more story. There's more going on. Which I think as you're working through this journal is more satisfying. It's like what may have taken us 3 days of daily pages to express in like an IMA, we can do in like one day in Way of Astoria, or WOI, as it were. WOI,
if you will.
I don't think I will. I think I'll stick to WOI. But anyway, there you go. There's the shameless plug.
Yeah. That was one of our goals to talk about today, was to talk about the Way of Astoria. Yes, subscribe. Yeah. You will get the emails. Most of you already have the link to the free journal PDF. We're going to try to get it out to everyone. Obviously, we're live streaming right now, so we shouldn't work on that this very moment, but it will be done very soon. Yeah, we have a goal to get everyone the first act sooner than later for the new storyline, just for free, just because we love you guys and we want you to see what we're making. And I'm excited. This storyline is so good. It's so fun. It's kind of silly. And we were actually talking yesterday in our design review meeting with our incredible artist, Ryan, who's out of town for this live stream. Early on in this storyline, like when we were designing this world, obviously we have these big brainstorms about what kind of story do we want to tell and what kind of inspirations are we drawing from, yada, yada, yada. And obviously, if you just look at the artwork on this landing page, you can see a lot of the inspiration from like, manga and anime and like Avatar: The Last Airbender, Dragon Ball Z, old kung fu movies, like whatever. Just so many cool things that really play to our art style. But in terms of like, we'll say like lore building or like building the rules of this story, we really wanted to sort of blow up what we've done in the past with like, hard magic systems, or like what are the rules of this world. And we just kind of like, we like this idea that this storyline almost feels like a dream. Like it feels like a myth that's been passed down, almost like an oral tradition style story that, you would hear as a kid. It's kind of just like, it's kind of so fantastical that like you kind of forget that the rules are even applied. It kind of works on dream logic. And
And I just love that. It made it so fun to work on this storyline and not have to worry about like, well, wait, how did they get from here to here? It's like, who cares? They are, you know.
Yeah, what's the thing that we really fought against with the IMA was Duze Mach. How do you say it? I can't even say it.
Do Ex Machina, I think.
Yeah.
It's French, but yeah.
Yeah. Like we were trying to make sure that like the story just didn't resolve itself.
Yeah. Is it
Um
French? I don't know if it's French. Someone help. Is it Latin? Let's
Probably.
Do Ex Machina. It's like
But
saved by God, right? That's like the God, saved by the gods at the last moment.
yeah.
Actually.
But yeah, like in this one, like we get to kind of just like we get to just kind of like move things to the next thing. You know, we get to just move things on, which is awesome. And then you don't have to like worry about.
We also haven't finished the story yet, so we can certainly run into some roadblocks. But in terms of just like a setting, I just think that this like inspiration pool that we're drawing from is so vast that like I don't know, it's fun. It's easy to kind of pave your own version of a story by just taking little bits and pieces of a lot of other inspirations. Like IMA, unfortunately, Harry Potter is such a massive like behemoth in that particular niche of like the wizard, like how to like, learning magic. You know what I mean? It has just dominated that forever. And so when you make a Harry Potter inspired journal, it's hard for it to not just feel like another version of Harry Potter in a different font. This one, though, I do feel like there's enough things in this genre. I mean, this is just how I feel. Um, that it doesn't feel like a retread of something else, if that
Yeah,
makes any sense. But
I agree with that.
overall, cool stuff. This is a fun one.
You know, it was really exciting this week. This week, we literally got an email about someone was someone was like, "Love your stories, Legend of Astoria, Story Magic Academy, Galaxy of Astoria, awesome." Like, I really hope that one day you make a like kung fu like fan they essentially just asked for this storyline and we're like and I said, "Do I got news for you? This is just exciting. This could not have come at a better time." So, um, and yes, David, there are other magical schools than Harry Potter. That's just we typically use that as a shorthand because pretty much everyone knows what that is.
Right.
Um, yeah. As far as do we have to sign up for WI if you've already had the emails? Technically, no. Like you'll know when it comes out, but we are sending out exclusive information about WI to that segment of people on that email list. So if you want to know all the information, then yes, you would want to be on that one.
Yeah, you should sign up for it. That's my advice to you. If you
Yeah, you're gonna want to do that.
you're asking how do I get more information on it, you should sign up for it. That's my
Yeah.
advice to you.
Let's just say if you sign up for it, you'll get what's coming to you.
Yeah. Um, you want to talk through the chapters? Is it too early to talk through all the chapters that we kind of have so far?
We could talk to the ones that we showed on that landing page. I don't think we should talk through.
I mean, that's like half of them.
Yeah,
We talked to the first act.
yeah. Unfortunately, I think that the most satisfying of all of the pages is the city scene, and that's the one that we don't have on here.
That's fair.
Just because that's where we start to see your favorite characters,
Yeah,
little crow guys.
it's true. Let's just talk about the concepts of each chapter without getting too deep into it. The first chapter, temple, starting at basically like a martial arts kung fu temple. That's kind of where you is getting their bearings. All right, and that's not spoiling anything. We also meet our first ally in the journey. Second chapter, a little bit of it's bamboo forest. All right, so we're moving on from the temple. We're setting out into the unknown. We meet some more crazy little characters, and I think the Bamboo Forest is it's fun, it's confusing little chapter. It's good. Chapter 3. This is the city that Kyle's referencing.
Can I answer
Um,
the question really fast, just so that doesn't get
yeah, yeah.
lost? So we have one email list. On that email list, your email has a profile. When you sign up for the WOI, you are on the same email list. You're just tagged with getting the WOI emails. So it's still one email list. There's not two separate email lists.
Yeah.
Um, we're just essentially trying to get the tag correct. So yeah, sorry. People were asking, and I didn't want to make sure. I didn't want people to think that they're getting put on a whole separate email list. One email list, two tags.
Yeah. Um, where was I? Third chapter. Exciting, big city. One of my favorite chapters so far. Because we have done something. Roll Ryan came up with a really cool concept for that chapter. I don't want to spoil it, but I'd be curious to know if it lands with you guys because it's a bit of a swing. I could see it being a little confusing. Um, but I'll say that it involves memory, which plays into the broader theme of the story. It's so cool. Like, I like it. And then the fourth chapter is the tea house, and that's an action-packed, um, very cool scene where we challenged Ryan with this idea to do like a musical fight. One of my favorite movies, Kung Fu Hustle. I made Kyle watch it. I made Kyle and Ryan watch it. Talked about it a few live streams ago, but yeah, there's a whole fight sequence in that movie that's like heavily uses music, and I was like, oh, I just love that. I love that inspiration of just like how do you visually put that into like a hero's journal, and so I think it's really good. And that's the first act. And then that it just gets crazier from there. It gets absolutely insane. Um, and it's a lot of fun. So yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
it's really
Um,
cool. It's only going to take the rest of the year to make. So
but it'll be good. It'll be worth the wait. I like kind of going back to this concept of like the storyline feeling almost like a dream or like a memory or just like not all the details are super like filled out and it's okay. That I like the meta storytelling of that is so interesting in my head. I've been thinking a lot recently about, you know, being a hero, being the hero in your own life has a lot to do with how you remember situations and like what details you pick up on. Because our brains are like very efficient. They have to be, like humans, like our best skill is just adapting to new circumstances. And our brains are constantly being like, okay, how do we fit into this one? And our brains aren't as concerned with like what happened in the past because we can't go backwards. And so it just kind of remembers like the crucial details. You know what I mean? I think that's why the quote of like people don't remember what you said to them. They remember like how you made them feel.
yeah,
That's like that's like the only things that our brain can really afford to like hold on to calorically. Like our brains
yeah,
don't have enough energy to store all of it. And so all that to say, if you want to be a hero, you have to like choose how you remember and think of your past. Like you really do. And I like that like that really comes down to um like your own interpretation of like your own personal history. And I think it's okay to like Mandela effect your life a little bit to like think back and just choose to selectively remember yourself in a good light.
hmm
Anyway, I think it's really interesting. And that's how this like whole story is sort of like it's like a memories retelling of like am I making any sense? I don't know. I think it's really interesting. That's all.
So I have an interesting reframe for you on the same idea.
What do you got?
So I heard this thing somewhere this week, and I'm gonna apply this idea to a story in my life. When I was a kid, I went to the store when I was like probably in like fourth grade, and I got a beta fish. I was so excited. It was blue and it was sick, a
No.
little beta fish. I had recently watched the movie Undercover Brother for like the 100th time. And in that movie, he goes, "Yeah, man, Rasta," when he dresses up like the
Yeah.
Rastafarian. And so I named my fish Yaman. Um,
Great.
that beta fish died my senior year of high school.
Wow.
And I remember thinking to myself, I got so lucky that I picked the one beta fish that just lives forever. You know what I mean? And I was like, and even when he did end up dying, I was like, that's so cool that I got so much time with the beta fish.
Mm.
But if someone had told me that beta fish lived for 20 years and he only lived for 10, I would have been sad. It wouldn't have changed how long he lived. But like just the fact that I felt like I got lucky because I had my fish for longer than I was supposed to. I like have such a positive memory around everything about him, even Yaman's passing away.
Yeah.
Um, and it's a really good um example of like how the perspective in which we remember things affects the way that we actually remember it. And so I think that's one nice thing about the hero's journal is that it forces you to put everything in a positive light because there's nothing negative in the whole thing. Even our threats are kind of like that's not even that negative. And so if you went back into a journal and you looked at a goal that you set or you looked at a time in your life, like everything in there is just overwhelmingly positive just because it's all leaned towards a positive angle, which means the perspective is always positive on that memory, which I think is pretty cool.
Mm. Yeah, there isn't a lot of actual utility in remembering things exactly as they happened, or even remembering things with a negative bend at all. Like there just isn't. I think that there's like, and I'm talking. I mean, there's like obviously our shared history, as like a society. Different conversation. I'm just talking about your personal experience, right? Like your thoughts about yourself in past relationships, or your thoughts about yourself in like elementary school or middle school. Like those perceptions of yourself that you create are so fundamental in how you like conduct your actions in the future. They're just like worth looking at. And maybe to Kyle's point, like reframing a little bit, the whole like don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened sort of energy. Just like, I don't know. Kyle and I did a program last year, like a kind of a therapeutic thing. And they always say, like, what's the gift in this situation? And I like that frame a lot. It's like, this thing happened. Maybe it sucked. Maybe it didn't suck. Maybe it's so exciting that I want to hold on to it forever and I don't want to let go. Like, just finding like, what is the gift in this situation? Like, what is the thing I can take with me that will lay like some positive breadcrumbs for me as I think about my life in a more heroic way. Even if I don't feel like the hero yet, even if I don't believe I am there yet, what is something that like I can bookmark this with and look back on it with like a positive intent? I think that's really interesting. So corny.
Yeah. I mean, you know, we built the whole business on it, so we better believe it.
True.
I think about like the idea of a life's work a lot. And there's this whole like people treat it like a life savings. You know what I mean? It's like at the end of it, it has to be this big thing. Like it has to be like this. But in reality, a life's work is what you spent your life working on.
Yeah.
Uh, and how we look at it is the only thing that changes the reality of it. So it's like you spent your life working on something, and there's a lot of positive things that are going to happen from that. And it's your choice to notice those things or not. Because at the end of the day, I think everyone has a life's work because we all did something over the course of our lives. So
Yeah.
Now we're getting really deep into the woos, into the woo woo.
Yeah, this is a much more philosophical live stream than I was expecting, and also that I more philosophical than I have the brain power for at 4:42 on a Friday.
You know,
That's showbiz, you know.
that's showbiz, baby.
Um, you want to? Can we want to do some early brags?
Let's do it. Let's bragaccini, clockaccini.
Okay. We could also pull some brags from school since we're getting started early.
We could. I
Um,
do. We want to have? Let's have a vote. Let's not have a vote. I'll just pull it up.
yeah, I'm pulling up brag clock right now in school.
Hi, Val. Um, David, I will look into your email situation after the live stream. I'm not. Yeah, I will look into it. Um, don't worry. We don't have any plans to put any new information out. So you will have all the information you need. We have no new information from now until the next time we see you. Um, yeah. Um, cool. Jeffrey's our first brag on the live stream.
Nice. Yeah, let's.
Jeffrey also bragged in school, so it's a double brag day for Jeffrey.
I love a double brag day.
I'll start with Jeffrey's school brag.
Let's do it.
Maybe I made a good impression or two in a meeting this afternoon. I love a question brag because it sounds like you know that you did, but you're a little coy. You're still getting used to bragging about yourself. You're not used to saying things with your chest, and that's okay. We're all new to it, but I think in a few weeks you're gonna be bragging for the mountaintops, which I love.
Um, James. Oh wait, are you reading them?
I just read the bottom one on. I just yeah.
Jeremy Owens. Bragger clock on school said, got out of the hole of work that I had found myself in 2 days to get ahead.
Ayo.
Love that. Fantastic.
Jeffrey's brag on the live stream said, "My big brag is that I remembered today's Free Journal Friday webcast."
Ew. Carrie over on school said, I made the phone calls and other things on my to-do list that I have been procrastinating on all week. It is good to have them done, but now I'm exhausted. I think a nice cup of tea is in order to celebrate. I love that. Having calls to do is, or just like having to have conversations with people that take a lot of energy. Like that is always a to-do list item for me. And it's like exhausting. So I know what it feels like. Congratulations, Carrie. Great brag.
Melissa's brag is most of the way through book 5 for the month, competing in 2 readathons. Do the books stack for the readathons? Can you win with one? Does one book count for both readathons? And also having being on book number 5 on the 7th day of the month is truly madness.
Wow. Leslie Young over on school said, I submitted a funding proposal to the National Science Foundation and I am pooped. That sounds like a lot of work to submit a funding proposal to the National Science Foundation, but that is very cool. And I commented this, but I'll say it on the live stream. Fingers crossed.
Vel said, "My partner just went through spinal surgery and she's doing so well. I'm so happy that I'm available to help her with her recovery." That's awesome. I love allyship brags and brags on other people's behalf. I hope the recovery goes incredible.
Victoria Graves in school said, I finished my 7th Townham 7 journals. Finishing up some coloring, then starting the new one. That is incredible. I'm about to, also enter the seven journal club. We have meetings and we have some group chats. Kyle's not really in them, but it's just kind of a special place where we get together and we chat about Cool stuff. Anyway, congratulations, Victoria. I'm excited to meet you there at our secret hideout.
Um, Banny Bunch said, "My kids qualified for state archery competition. They use recurve bows. That is awesome. Also, remind me to never dress up as a deer and run around the forest near your house because that's a dangerous place to be. Because I do that all the time."
Devorah Fox on school said, I accepted the autocrit Destination Unknown writing challenge, which means I started a new story, even though I haven't finished my work in progress. I need more hours in the day. I love it. I mean, that is the work of a writer, and you're just putting in the hours. I love that. And I like that you put a new challenge on it. There's a good lesson in this, which is like your quest might be a very long road of the same repeated task over and over and over again. It's important to look for little ways to switch it up, but still stay in the pocket. I think that's really cool. Great brag.
Terry Parham said, "I took the first steps on restarting my journey." Adapt. Yeah, that's pretty incredible. We love a new beginning.
Uh, okay. We haven't read Amy's brag yet, have we?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, Amy over on school said, I'm slowly but surely getting all the artwork I want to do for my stream done. So far, the list has pictures for starting the stream, ending the stream, be right back, and offline. Some artwork for panels to make my Twitch look nicer. Alert artwork, mostly focusing on a new follower, and a cheer. In the future, I may learn how to do simple animation for streaming art. That's very cool. I also continue to stream and mostly stick to my schedule. I didn't stream on Wednesday, but I did make up stream last night, and I'll stream again tonight. That is effort. Streaming is hard. We're doing it right now, and it takes a lot of energy, takes a lot of focus and time. I heard last week you guys got kicked off like 3 times. It's tough. Congratulations, Amy. That's a great brag. We support you.
Ashley Parks brag. My brag was getting my ankle surgery done. It was scary to go in walking and come out unable to walk, but I know in the long run I will be walking and running better than ever. That's amazing. I probably should get ankle surgery too. So let me know how it goes.
Pondering Hobbit. This is a cool one. Pondering Hobbit said, I figured out how to make furniture. I figured out how to make a furniture bumper out of a pool noodle and contact paper. And at the dentist yesterday, I pretended I was a lamp, which has no feelings, so I could get through the lengthy dental repair. And it worked for the most part. This is the funniest collection of 2 brags I've ever seen. And they're both furniture related. That is the best part, is there's an actual theme to it. I don't know which one I like more, and I'm not going to pick. These are both great brags. Congratulations, Pondering Hobbit.
Book Hugga said, brag, I have been helping my brother with his paperwork. It's exhausting, but good. There is nothing in this world more that I dislike than paperwork. So that's amazing that you can do it.
Let's see. Wakana Smith over on school said, I completed my daily quests by 9 a.m. today. Whoa. Got out of bed, did my journal, and off I went. Before I knew it, the quest was done, and I have a full day of laziness, well, minus my workout times. That is awesome. What a good feeling. Getting up early, writing in the journal. Ah, I love it. I love an intentional day.
I scrolled down to see how many rags we have left, and I saw people talking about the mental image of me running around them as dressed up as a deer, and I just can't believe I said that.
It's not hard. It's not hard to imagine. I'll be honest with you. You really lend yourself to a woodland creature.
David said, I bit the bullet and got new glasses for the first time since 1998. I've had the same pair and prescription since then. Also realized I was burning myself out and canceled an upcoming class, which was double speed, but the same amount of work. A whole semester condensed into 7 weeks. I found out what my limit is. Lol. Also, my foot wound is improving, though still not healed. That's great. It sounds like you really worked on your boundaries, and you have better able to see your boundaries now with your new glasses. Not so.
Very good. James over on school said that he got Google Ads set up for his website. And as someone who has dabbled in this world before, it's not easy to do things like that.
No, it is
It's
not.
honestly, especially with Google, it can be an absolute pain in the butt. Very brag.
Melissa said, family brag. My 10-year-old niece, great niece, is competing in the state spelling bee on Sunday. I lost the spelling bee in 5th grade on the word monopoly.
You just launch straight into a personal story about how you lost the spelling bee. I don't know why that's so funny. I lost something once. Okay.
Good for them.
I think I got all the brags on school. Do we have more in the live stream?
We
I'm
have
a little,
2 more. I can read them right here. They're right in front of me.
go ahead.
Book Pega said, I also finished the book for the book club for Friday, for February. Anxious People by Frederick Blackman. That's great. Finishing a book feels so good. Something Melissa knows very well.
Yeah, like every day.
Wakana said, my brag I completely completed chapter 2 of my first journal. I've never gotten past 1 day with journals. Wow. That's 14 days. That's amazing.
That makes
You
you
are
sad.
14 times further ahead than you've ever been, which is pretty cool.
Wow.
Oh, and then Zach Z said, I quit the band I had been invited to play with regularly because making music a responsibility robbed me of the joy. Saying no is hard, but it felt good.
Man.
Protect your joy. Protect your joy.
Especially with like stuff that, yeah, like hobbies. It's so much pressure. I don't know if this is like an American thing or what. There's so much pressure to just like make money and monetize, and I don't know. Things should just be fun to do. And if focusing and doubling down on them makes them not fun, then I think it takes a brave person to be like, I don't like this anymore. I'm gonna quit. Um, that's a great brag. That's a good one to end on.
It's true. I will say this. Speaking of bravery, me telling my story about my spelling bee has allowed other people the opportunity to tell the words that they got out on in their spelling bee stories.
I never even had a spelling bee.
Yeah, man, you weren't
Oh, I
invited.
was invited.
It's a lot like a 7 journal club. You kind of have to be invited.
We did have we like the free throw competition. Did you guys have?
No.
Okay, we can talk about this later.
What'd you go to Troy Bolton's high school?
This was in like elementary school. It was like a straight up free throw competition, and it was so competitive. In like
Who can make
district,
the most in a row?
yeah, I think you'd shoot 10.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, pretty wild. But
So there's this thing we do every week. And the best part about it is we spin a wheel of names. And once the wheel of names is spun, whoever it lands on wins a free The Hero's Journal product. You can get a journal, you get a side quest deck, you can get a planner. Whatever you want, it's on us.
right,
You got
all you gotta do is if this lands on your name, claim it in the comments. You gotta listen that you're here, so we can reward you. Everyone can give you a virtual pat on the back, and then you got to email support@theheroesjournal.co with whatever you'd like. And I'm saying this,
Terry P.
Terry P. I know Terry's here because we see it. And this is a different Terry, but I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
Terry's here. Let's get a comment from Terry, and everyone who isn't Terry, wish Terry a nice, happy Free Trail Friday win.
Well, no, you gotta wish Terry a very merry Free Journal Friday win.
There you go. There it is. This is why I wasn't invited to the spelling bee. I'm not good with words. I'm not good with words.
Yeah. You're just a Jerry with words. Just a common Jerry.
We got a huzzah, but I don't think it's from the right person.
We got a congrats, Terry.
Congrats from Danny. We love that. We love it.
I think this might be Terry's second or even third Free Journal Friday win.
Mm.
Terry might be on the Mount Rushmore of Free Journal Friday wins.
There we go. Congratulations, Terry. We got a comment, which means Terry is here. And I just wish we could have like a little reaction moment when people win Free Journal Friday. I would love to see the the excitement, that moment. And they're in the chat bar, they're trying to type out their thing, backspace, getting all right. I think that's exciting. One day.
I think of it very much like like in the NFL draft. Like they're all, yeah, everyone's sitting there watching the TV.
Their whole families with them.
Yeah.
They put on a hat. Yeah. Huge deal. Oh man.
So the thing is that we have the quote of the day from James G. I wrote it down.
He did write it down. Wow.
Yeah.
You were kidding.
You can't learn to drive by reading the car's manual.
Mm.
Well, I have a second quote for that. You can't learn to quest unless